When I announced that I was starting a YouTube channel, someone wrote to me and said, do a video about talking to yoga teachers who aren't vegan or sometimes even vegetarian. Well, that's an issue close to my heart too. The reason that I actually went vegetarian when I was a teenager was because of an interest in yoga. At that time, it was just accepted that you were supposed to be vegetarian if you were going to study yoga. Kind of like you need to know how to read before you apply to go to college. It was a given. But then, yoga got huge. And now it's all over everywhere. There are dozens of different styles, thousands of studios, millions of followers, but unfortunately, not millions of yogic vegetarians. So, gosh, what do we do as yoga students? You go to class, it ends with that beautiful Sanskrit chant that translates, "May all beings be free from suffering," and yet the teacher is often going out for a paleo chicken salad. Well, I think first it takes a lot of humility to be a student, to be willing to learn from someone who has things to teach that I don't know, and yet be grateful that one part of that teaching I was able to get that perhaps this teacher hasn't gotten yet. On the other hand, I think we do need to stand our ground with at least the same tenacity with which we stand on our heads. And that is when the subject comes up to speak our truth, kindly, tolerantly, but the truth nonetheless. Now, sometimes you can find wonderful colleagues about vegetarianism within the yogic community. After all, the yogis almost invented vegetarianism. The sattvic foods, those beautiful middle way kinds of foods that are supposed to be conducive to meditation, are all whole plant foods, with the addition of what the ancient teachers called milk from healthy cows. Well, I don't know how many healthy cows are left, and a lot fewer happy cows. And yet, in Indian tradition, and many people who are into yoga, no meat, no fish, no eggs, but we've got to have the milk. Well, the way I look at that today is God bless them. Anybody not eating meat, fish, and eggs is saving lots of lives and changing this planet. These are my allies, not my enemies. But when the subject of milk comes up, I do have to say what I know. Not long ago, I was speaking with a beautiful young yoga teacher, and she was telling me that the Hare Krishnas have compassionate milk, that they have ranches where cattle live, where the moms and the babies get to stay together, where they only take the milk after the baby has had his or her share, where all these cattle get to stay, every baby that's born, male or female. It just sounded like a wonderful place to be bovine. And then she said, "So would you drink that kind of milk?" And I said, "No, because it's not sustainable. It's simply not possible and scalable for cattle raised in that way to produce enough milk for a city, not to mention the planet." But I was glad that if she's going to drink milk, at least she was able to get this Hare Krishna milk. So I went on about my day, and later I needed to get something out of her refrigerator. And oh my gosh, I didn't see cow-loving Hare Krishna milk. I saw organic milk from Trader Joe's and Chobani yogurt, proving my point that even people who would go out of their way to get the kindest possible products, those products just don't exist. Maybe 5,000 years ago in the golden age of India, when there were very few humans, something could be worked out. Not today. This is the age of the vegan, and I think if that's something that we have come to see, it's our obligation to speak up about that. We also need to speak up in ways that have nothing to do with words. We need to be healthy, we need to be serious about our practice, and we need to shine a light so that people will want what we have. That's really, really powerful. This is a terrific book, both for anybody who's into yoga to read and certainly to give as a gift to a yoga teacher. It's Sharon Gannon's Yoga and Vegetarianism. It actually could be called Yoga and Veganism because it's really about that. She goes through all the Patanjali Yoga Sutras and talks about how each one of them relates back to not killing animals for food or taking their products, which will ultimately lead to killing them. Now, Sharon is the co-founder of Jivamukti Yoga. Jivamukti is a completely vegan yoga system. So if there's Jivamukti in your area, you can take yoga there, and then you'll only talk to vegan yoga teachers. And there are also some yoga centers such as Shivananda and Integral Yoga that are devoutly vegetarian, no meat, no fish, no eggs. And those people are, in my opinion, our allies. We need to cultivate them. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all that has life be free from suffering, and may the thoughts, words, and deeds of my own life contribute to that freedom for all. Namaste.